Extreme, Savages, and Ultimates. These range from being the toughest content to the hardest content in 14. And it's pretty obvious that if you've never cleared any of these contents, well, then you're just a dumb casual and you'll never be a good player. Simple as that. Time to uninstall. Once you beat the MSQ, you're pretty much done with 14, so log off, goodbye, get out of here. Just go and play your other Steam games that you have. Wrong! What if I told you 14 is actually an easy game? So easy, in fact, that honestly, anyone can clear any kind of content in this game. And yes, I mean anyone. Crafting mains, professional Lalafell petters, and yes, even to my dear ERP players, we can clear this. Here is the big secret to clearing any kind of content in 14. Just invest an ungodly amount of time into whatever you're trying to clear. And that's it. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for watching. Stop! Okay, there's a few more things I need to tell you before you just, throw yourself into the next content and just, die a billion times. Now, when I say invest a lot of time into the game, am I saying that all of the raiders in this game are basically no-life losers? Of course I am. Let's take a second to think why these raiders are already better than you. Compare yourself to the world's first week 1 top percentage of raiders. You already may notice right off the bat that you probably take more showers than they do. Okay, I'll stop with bashing the raiders. I do love them, guys. It's a joke. Calm down. What do you see different between you and a hardcore raider? Well, the raiders already have a lot of time invested into the game in the raiding aspect. They already know most of, if not mastered, their main job. When it comes to rotations, openers, optimization, and just overall general knowledge of the game, they have done their due time. And if they're a hardcore raider, well, they've probably done enough fights in this game to recognize that a lot of mechanics are borrowed from one another. Exaflares are present in so many fights in this game. Everything that I've listed that these hardcore raiders have helps them with progging and learning fights more easily, versus someone who doesn't really know how to play their job, as well as just pretty much going, what the hell mechanic is this, and they don't even know what's happening at all. Now, let's take a look at yourself. Do you feel confident about your own rotation and job? Have you read all your tooltips? Have you studied and researched a fight ahead of time to see how you'll deal with mechanics? These are some factors that will affect how progging will go for you in fights. And I'm gonna say the elephant in the room here, the less prepared you come into a fight, the more others have to carry you. While this is totally okay and up to your group's discretion on how they would like to carry you and how much, personally, if I knew I was coming into a fight holding back the group, it makes me feel bad. Like, I should be able to put in my own weight, not causing so many deaths, taking so many damage downs, messing up mechanics that would result in the whole group dying, and thus slowing down everyone's progress. If your goals for clearing aligns with your group and you're okay with a few wipes, that's perfectly fine then. Bottom line though, as long as you're having fun, that's all that matters really. Alright, but let's say maybe it's time to accept that you suck. Maybe raiding is not for you. You've caused so many deaths that it just brings you down and you don't want to play anymore. That really cool glam that you wanted to get from this raiding tier, yeah, the dieable version, maybe you just get that unsynced 2 expansions later when it's much easier. The ultimate weapons that you really want to get so badly, never happening. The dream of acquiring a legend title, just throw it out the window. Okay, well, let's be honest here. Does anyone actually want that title? It's a huge meme anyways. Time to go back to your island sanctuary where you just pet your animals all day, sit on the beach, and just wonder about what to do next in your life. Time to give up on raiding forever and acknowledge that you'll never be a quote-unquote good player. Or, crazy little thought, how about this? We actually become better players. It's time for your training arc, baby. You're now an anime main character. This video's purpose is to help encourage you to become a better player. Whether you want to clear an ultimate, a savage, or even an extreme, you can do it. I'll tell you guys a quick little story. I used to be a pretty bad black mage player. Like, so bad, I had a guy mocked how bad my damage was in a certain content. I cleared it, but people want to just take small little things and jab you with it. So, I decided to get better. For myself, I wanted to be able to kind of start putting out real damage and not hold back my groups. I went from being a really bad black mage player to I'm really just decent at this point, actually. I'm not that great. But that's the coolest part about this game, is the fact that you don't have to be a godlike player to clear almost every content in this game. Yeah, there's probably some things out there that are a little bit more difficult, but still, you can clear most things as a decent player. By the way, the guy who made fun of me, I've cleared way more content than he has ever done. So if you guys find yourself in a similar position like I did, let your results do all the talking. Get better and shut them up. Alright, so your training arc, how do you get better? I'll be real. I'm not an expert at this game when it comes to knowing what kind of materia, what stats to have exactly for your job. Instead, I'm gonna direct you guys to some online resources out there that you can use, created by experts who will tell you everything you need to know. They'll tell you things like your opener, your rotation, what gear you need, you know, your best in slot, what materia you'll need, because you don't want to slap tenacity onto your black mage gear. It's never happened to me before, I swear. And most importantly, what kind of food and potions you'll need for your job. These two specific things are really important because you want to make sure you get the right buffs for your job. What about your rotation and your opener? If you don't know how to do these, let's get on that. You can find information on your rotation and your opener through YouTube or in the Balance Discord. There are different openers out there, so make sure you choose the one that's right for you. Once you have your opener ready, let's go practice. Practice your opener as much as you can so you have some muscle memory for it. Make sure your hotbar is something set so you can play comfortably. We're trying to eliminate the amount of times you look up and down your screen as much as you can so you can focus on the fight and see what's happening rather than miss something, die, and not know what happened there. My biggest recommendation for practicing is to find a training dummy, set a timer for about 5 minutes, and then just go through your opener and rotation until the time is up. And for some reason, if you ever want to restart, just open up a dungeon finder, go unsynced, go into a dungeon real quick, hop out, and your skills are all reset, ready to go again. After you get that muscle memory in, it's time to get you into a real situation. For a super basic way to kind of practice your skills, go into a roulette and just throw yourself at the enemy. But I think the #1 way to actually get really good is to actually start joining groups and do current day content. Once you're down with all your basics, go ahead and find like an extreme party and get into that. And if you need to, watch a guide ahead of time so you know what's going on. Let's say you actually finish the extremes and you want to take it to the next level. Well, savages, here we are. I get it, it can be so scary to find a static group or a party finder group, but the best thing to do for you is to just know your role, how to play your role, and if it makes you feel better, just study ahead of time. After that, just play the best that you can. You will notice how different things are between an extreme and savage, and it will help you become a better player faster. Once you start doing this kind of content, you'll start realizing there are buff timers, when to line up your bursts with your pots, and all these other things that you need to know for a higher level play. And oh yeah, make sure you eat the right food for your job and use the correct potions. If you're wanting to find a community of some sort, I highly recommend you check out some raiding streamers out there. But my #1 favorite person for this kind of stuff is Llama Todd. Todd is honestly one of the most wholesome people out there and is an excellent raider. He plays with his viewers on the regular, so please stick around, hang out, and you may get a chance to play with one of the best out there. He is so patient, he's even cleared for 7 fresh new raiders in a content at certain points. And trust me, trying to clear content with 7 fresh new players is not easy at all. Go check him out, tell him I sent you, and please go learn from him. Also, looking at POVs of other players may help you learn. 2 creators that I highly recommend at the moment for guides currently are Hector and Tessin. Hector has been pumping out a lot of the current tier guides, and he's been doing a great job explaining everything along the way. His styles show a diagram, and honestly, it's the best way for me to visually learn and conceptualize all the things I need to learn for a mechanic. Tessin, on the other hand, which, by the way, Tessin, I'm so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. They've been producing some guides for Ultimates, and honestly, it's like my one go-to. I just have these, I don't have to look at anything else. So thank you guys so much for making such great resources. I love them, and I recommend them to everyone out there. One last big thing I want to go over in this video is parsing. If you don't know what parsing is, it's pretty much just to track how much damage you do during a fight. Lots of people are overly worried about their parsing, and I'm gonna be real here. You don't need to worry about it most of the time. I say most of the time because you can actually clear a lot of content with a 0 parse, which is pretty much considered bad, but you can still clear content anyways. Having a decent parse just basically shows that you have a good mechanical and rotational consistency. Parse almost doesn't even matter until you have Bis, which Bis basically allows you to deal the highest possible damage because you have the strongest gear at the moment. Parsing at the end of the day is just pretty much going for the highest DPS possible, and that doesn't really matter in most situations. What really matters though is getting that clear on the content so you can get your reward from it. There is no reward for having a high parse for most things, so don't worry about it too much. With all I've said today, you are on your way to being a raider. Now, a good raider? That's a different video subject, but if you still think raiding is not your forte, well, you know, just stay bad. No, raiding just might not be for everyone. The best part about 14 is that there's so many different aspects to enjoy. Housing, fishing, ERP, glamour, island sanctuary, gathering, ERP, crafting, PvP, treasure hunting, RP, and of course, ERP. The 14 team makes it so you can do different things in this game, not just combat all the time, so please enjoy yourself. I truly do believe anyone can clear content, so if you just put in the time, you can do it. And if you can't do it, well, come on over to my FC house where I hold Lalafell Pokemon battles. This week's match is Warrior versus Monk. Come check out to see who will die this week.